Greetings and welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. I hope everybody had a wonderful week, getting ready for a wonderful weekend. And we are here with the news, see what's been going on this week in that crazy, wonderful world out there we all know and love, or maybe despise. We are, of course, streaming on YouTube, Odyssey, Rumble, Twitch, which I don't really monitor, and the Lost Stepchild. We call that D-Live. Although I think there's one guy over there who's screaming obscenities to himself in the middle of it. I haven't been over there in a long time. I don't know what's going on. Maybe we just kill the D-Live stream. I don't know. But anyway, or we'll just keep it around for the meme factor. I don't know. We're also monitoring comments over on Matrix. And so if you want to leave comments over there, Lunduke says that the Tor project will be defunded. Oh, that's exciting. Good to know. Let's see. So we got comments in. We got Ivan's in. Be careful of the banhammer, everybody. Just take note. We are a family-friendly channel. We try to be anyway. So if you drop some F-bombs in there, we will remind you to calmly please delete those yourself before we come in behind you. Anyway, War Thunder, greetings. 23andMe stuff. That will be our feature story today. Won't get into it too much here in the comments, but currently without the mini PC. Oh no, I thought my mini PC was going to die a couple of times. It turns out it just needs some TLC, some cleaning, and a new CMOS battery. Who would have thunk it, right? I'll look into that Tor project video from Lunduke, though. That sounds excellent. Let's see. Mr. Snipes, I made it in time for the stream. Well, welcome. I'm glad you made it. Nothing really going on over there on that. Actually, I have Twitter pulled up as well. I'm not sure exactly how to monitor that live, but I don't know, maybe if people tweet at me or something in the show, I might see it. Who knows? Over on a Rumble with 9, watching over on a Rumble. Dan is over there. Greetings. Dan, and Mayflower Project, hello to you. We got 4 currently watching on Odyssey, where apparently no one's Odysseying it over there. Xavier's there. Lunduke is a Zionist thug. I disagree, but that's okay. We can have our disagreements. And we have 23 watching. Well, we will say, okay, Brian Lunduke is a practicing Jew. If that makes him a Zionist, I guess maybe he is a Zionist. I don't know. Is he a thug? I doubt it, but I don't know. But you know, if you're not trying to bomb people, and he's not, you know, I'll respect you. You know. Let's see. We got 23 watching on ZTubies. That number hopefully should go up a little bit. What else we have going on over here? News folder. It's cold as bleepies out there. Let's see. Vance started at minus 19C in Greenland, minus 19C in my part of South Dakota is the average winter. I believe it will. Is this the weekend? I think we're going to see some record high temperatures in those parts right now this weekend. So stay tuned for the shorts and the t-shirt weather before the cold front moves behind it. Good evening from the UK, the grand home of the F-bomb. All right. Anyway, more afraid of the T-word, tariffs. Uh-oh. Oh, boy, we have a crazy world. I have Earl Grey tea today, if anybody likes Earl Grey. Wonderful orange pekoe with bergamot. Greetings and salutations to you, Chuck Nerd. I hope you are doing well. All right, we are going to go ahead and get on into the show. It looks like we have enough of a quorum here. And we're going to get started. Hopefully we can finish out. We do have a little bit of a shorter show. We had no data leaks, and we kept some of the sections a little bit shorter. Part of it is I'm tired. I'm just kind of wrapping up that last crazy week. I had a list of like 6 things on top of my regular work that I had to do before I get back up to my storage in Erie, based on where the things I needed to do. And so I actually stayed up super late every night this week, finished a bunch of things. We got the NAS rebuilt with a new drive. I just need to input the data from my backups, which are in my home office. And then we got, what else did I do? I did so many things. Oh, I converted the I migrated the legacy BIOS to an EFI BIOS for a brand new computer, so I didn't have to wipe the operating system. And there's reasons why I didn't want to wipe the operating system. I want to just keep it how it is. It's a full work computer. It has way too much stuff that it would have caused way more complications. So I did that. Oh man, what else was on that list? There were like 6 or 7 different things on that list. Oh Lord, what else was it? Oh yeah, we had to scan a bunch of photos and look for a bunch of things for all that California business I was working on. And then, oh, that was easy. That was just being a pyromaniac. That's okay. I had to burn a bunch of paper I had with me. I don't know what else. I can't read what else is on my list over there, but it was a massive list of things. It was a crazy week. So anyway. Let's see. Forgot today was Friday. Silver Adventures just jumped in. Just got done watching Trigun Stampede. There you go. Anton Brewer, greetings. What about the L word for tea? What about the L word for tea? L word for tea. Lipton? I don't know. It's the only L word I can think of when it comes to tea. Lipton. There you go. Lightly snowing in North Dakota. There you go. Live long and prosper. You will be assimilated, no one. Do you know how to get a list of all the public GitHub accounts for ripping the source files? Download the zips. I do not know off the top. Nice tea. Ever tried Rooibos tea, also called Red Brush from Africa? I have not tried Red Brush tea. Sounds fun. Hello, Wade. Greetings to you. Glad you made it. Let's see. All right, we will actually officially start now. We're gonna go ahead and do that. Let me get in on my setup here, and then we'll get that. So I got something weird's going on with my green screen though. Let me figure that out real quick. Is it this? There we go. Okay, my green screen was hanging up. All right, there we are. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. These are recorded live Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you want to catch the show live. And today we are going to dive on in, and we're going to start in. We have privacy, security, AI, business, and SillyVille, of course. We have a couple of updates to some older articles and just some other things that I wanted to mention here. So the first up in privacy, My Terms wants to be the new way we dictate our privacy on the web. This is more of I think I don't know if this guy's young or old. He's a longtime internet freedom activist, so presumably he's old. I'm not sure if he's maybe just young at spirit, we shall say, because he seems to think that he can change websites collecting our data by making demands on them. Keep on screaming your demands. Now, he has this thing that he wants to institute called My Terms. So basically akin to Wi-Fi. My Terms draft for standard machine readable personal privacy terms. He writes on his blog that My Terms has been in the works since 2017. Fully readable version should be available later this year following the conference presentations at VRM, which is like a vendor relationships management day, and the Internet Identity Workshop. Big concept is if you are the first party to each contract you have with online things, websites, apps, or services, you visit the second party. You arrive with either a preset contract you prefer on your device or pick one when you arrive. It tells the site what information you will and will not offer up for access to the content. Now, let's start here with, this goes back to, is it Tim? I might get his last name. Is it Burns? Is it Tim Burns, I think? One of the guys that did some of the early founding internet stuff. What he was trying to do is create like a portability standard. So the idea is that you would basically have a capsule of the information that you allow to be shared with different companies. And that data is something that you own and control, and you can give it to companies or take it back from companies at will. It's a nice idealized standard. It would be nice if we could implement something like this, but the total implementation, at least in the American landscape, and by the way, under any one of the two crazy political parties. Trump's not going to solve this. Biden's administration couldn't solve this. Cackling Kamala couldn't have solved this. Whoever comes in next is not going to solve this. There's the point is that we do not live in a world where privacy is even thought of or concerned about to the point where we would even get to something. But even if we did, we'd have to either have a strong-armed government to force the regulation, or we would have enough people who even cognitively think. Like, for example, I was watching a YouTube video today by a guy who's like, his affiliate spot was a free cell phone plan. So there is now a company out there, I believe it's called Helium. I would probably not recommend it. Helium will give you a free cell phone plan. It's 3 gigabytes of data. I think it's 100 minutes of talk and 300 texts or something like that. So very low-level internet plan. And it's completely free. And he's sponsoring YouTubers with millions of subscribers. How do they have a free service sponsoring a guy, i.e. paying a guy with millions of subscribers to push their free service? Well, the catch is that you don't have to pay for anything. You just have to have your location services perpetually turned on. It's the same way why GasBuddy can sponsor big names like Matt Walsh while offering a completely free service. Well, because you are the product. You install the app, and the app needs to have location on to work, and it needs to have access to all your contacts. Why does your app need your contacts in order to tell you the cheap gas stations nearby? Location services, I understand, okay? But the point is that we are in a world that doesn't care enough about privacy. So going back to my terms, he kind of is advocating for the same standard that we are in control of the data, and he thinks that by demanding the websites will only accept the data you give, he can do something about it. And the reason I say was he young or young at heart is because that's an idyllic thing. When a young person enters the market, the young people, they enter the market and they just think that all these old people, they're just stupid, lazy, and corrupt. Well, I'm going to get in and change the world. And they never succeed at changing the world. Why? Because it's not as simple as a childlike idealism. I wrote a poem in high school, which was very idealistic. We could all just solve the problems of the world if we just sit down and love each other. Oh, my Lord. So beautiful, wonderful, idealistic, and idiotic. That's what I get when I'm thinking about this in my terms. And because he thinks that by demanding websites do this, not asking them do it. In fact, they compare it in this article to the do not track, which of course was a beacon you would send to a website to say, hey, don't track my data. It was completely optional. Nobody actually respected it. Several companies in their privacy policies simply say, we don't respect this thing. Here's our privacy policy. We will not respect your request for this. He says, well, that was just an ask. This is a demand. Yeah, I'm going to demand Google only have information about me. Now, we will see later on in our next story that somebody did demand of Facebook and won. That's an interesting case. But this is my terms, the idealism of saying, hey, we are going to put this together. And his objective is to get this to be a standard that people will accept at some degree, which in theory is going to be better for privacy. But you don't change the way a business is doing their operations by saying, I'm demanding you do not collect my location data. No, we have to take the standard to say, don't get Helium on your phone because they have to have location data turned on to give you the free service. Anti-sponsorship right here, folks. Anti-sponsorship. Don't use Helium for your phone service. All right. I don't know. Honestly, I would have to investigate Helium further to know for sure. That's just what I got from the ad, because he mentions there, all this for just handing them anonymous location data. I'm like, oh, that's the catch. Wonderful. All right, it's kind of like, I don't have time to get into it, but the other day I was out with Fresh Vintage, and they had like candy bars for $1. I'm like, oh, I'll buy a candy bar for $1. Oh, you got to sign up all your data. I don't want a candy bar that bad. So, anyway, consequently, I love Kit Kats, but not enough to give you my email address to get one. Does it say stupid tattooed across my head? All right, anyway, moving on, Meta to stop targeting a particular UK citizen, with personalized ads after settling a privacy case. So this is where UK, of course, has a version of the GDPR. GDPR says that, hey, you're not allowed to use information that they don't. So this actually, and this person's not just a random citizen like, oh, I'm sick of getting Amsoil ads. No, this is a person who is actually an activist in the space of privacy. So it was a logical person, but she sued them under the GDPR terms, and they didn't actually take it to court. Facebook kind of looks at it and says, okay, yeah, I'm probably not going to win. And so they settled with her out of court. And what they're going to do is not target her with personalized advertising and not use her data. And this was the big one, not use her data in the pool of people. Now, one person does this. Now what happens when 5 million people in the EU all band in and start suing them individually? They're going to be forced to have some type of option to turn on or turn off. Now, at the same time, the article says that Facebook, Meta technically, is looking at doing a paid version, which is an advertising free option. I think the challenge, though, with the advertising free options is, are they still collecting the data and utilizing this? And I think the answer is yes. Tim Berners-Lee. Yes, that is the name. Somebody just put it up in the comments. That is the name of the person I was trying to remember. I knew it was Tim, and I knew it had something in Burn in it. Anyway, back to this article, though. So she launched, this is Tanya Carroll, she launched a campaign against them for $1.5 trillion, alleging they had breached the UK data laws by failing to respect her right to demand Facebook to stop collecting and processing her data. It was supported by UK's watchdog, indicating that the case will set a precedent for millions of UK users and online platforms. Now, we do not have a comprehensive GDPR. People in California could possibly opt out of this, but any nation that has a strong GDPR type thing could possibly get out of this as well. But this is basically a trailblazing case to say that, yeah, now Meta is forced in some way to stop processing this data. And it's not enough to say we're going to not sell you ads, because if they're still collecting the data, that data could still be used somewhere down the road. And we need better accountability. Maybe we do need my terms and demand what Facebook can and cannot collect. You go try that and let me know how it works out for you. But on to our main story today in privacy. 23andMe is going bankrupt. And this is the call right now. Like, literally, stop what you're doing right now. If you have data on 23andMe, log into your account right now and delete it before it is too late. And is it even too late yet? I don't even know exactly when the cutoff is, but it's very, very soon. Now, I have warned about this many times. It's not just, do you trust the company? It is, do you trust the company in the long haul? The first time something like this happened was with Radio Shack. Remember Radio Shack goes bankrupt. Now, Radio Shack was a behemoth, at least in American culture, for years. But after a while, they didn't really change their business models. And the fact of the matter is, people stopped going there. You know, more and more people stopped shopping it there in response of other places to go for, you know, equally crappy Chinese garbage. But what ended up happening is they go bankrupt. Well, as part of their bankruptcy, if you remember this a few years back, and you can look it up if you don't, the big question is, Radio Shack was one of the first companies that really started collecting all of your information. All right. They had a massive mailing list. It was I can't remember, it was close to the billions of user information that they had, and people were scrambling to buy it, not for overpriced Chinese garbage. They were scrambling for the Radio Shack assets because of the data on all the people. This is a massive, massive mailing list, and whoever buys the assets, it caused the whole court case to ask, can they transfer these names? And if I remember correctly, the courts came down and said yes. I could be wrong about that. The problem we have with that is when a company goes bankrupt, they always have in their privacy policy, and 23andMe is no exception. If the company goes bankrupt, any assets that they have gets transferred to whoever buys the assets. And so here is a company that has been collecting your genetic material, analyzing what diseases you might have, and now they're going bankrupt. Can anybody think of a couple of companies that might want access to that data? If 23andMe's database of DNA lands in any of the health insurance companies' hands, they will have every possibility, every legal right to scour through your genetic material and genetic history to deny you claims, to raise you rates, or to cancel your policies. This is the type of stuff that will happen, and this is what happens when you flippantly give such data up, and why I even hate when I go into a doctor's office and they have to collect all this data online. I don't think they should do that. There's nothing wrong with putting it all in a paper folder, and you can hand me my copy, and when I come back to the doctor, I'll hand you the copy back. We do not need these centralized databases. It provides too many attack vectors for data to leak. But that's what's happening with 23andMe. They are going into bankruptcy because they have been imploding for the last 2 years now. And they had the major data breach. At one point in time, their entire board quit all at once. And 23andMe, by the way, is owned by, they have close connections with Google already. Google's parent company is creating a health insurance company. Google wants access to health data like Fitbit. What happens now if Google happens to get this and merge your genetic data with Fitbit and feed it up to their health insurance branch? Ugh. But that's kind of crazy. So in the privacy policy, and here's the part of it. If we are involved in a bankruptcy, merger, acquisition, reorganization, or sale of assets, your personal information may be accessed, sold, or transferred as part of the transaction. So if you have used 23andMe or any of these companies, get into that account right now and delete every bit of data you can. But understand this. I don't think it's going to completely delete your data. I think you've already been hosed, and that's going to be about it. But they do have instructions down here. Log into your account, go to settings. Under settings, go to 23andMe data, select view. You'll be asked to enter your date of birth for extra security. Oh, wonderful. Isn't that great? Next section will be asked if there is any personal data you'd like to download from the company onto a personal, not public computer. Once you've finished, scroll to the bottom and select permanently delete data. You should receive an email from 23andMe detailing the account deletion policy, requesting you confirm your request. Once you confirm you'd like your data to be deleted, the deletion will begin automatically and you'll immediately lose access to your account. Now, the question is, are they really going to delete it? And that's one of those fundamental questions. Do we know for sure if they're going to? I don't know. But it's ultimately important right now. Make sure that you are not leaving this type of data behind. And now we're going to move on over to security news next. And first up in security, this fraud has destroyed my life. A man ends up with a criminal record after his ID was stolen. So indeed, these people running around saying, I have nothing to hide. Apparently you did. Now, this actually happened when somebody stole his physical ID. He was a dual citizen. He was in London when his ID was stolen. He moved back to where he was. He was a German national. And somebody in London decided to use his ID to commit a bunch of crimes. And when he was caught, ended up just, using this guy's ID for his own, and it ended up with him having a criminal record. Now, he was a student at this time, so he gets out of his education. He goes in for his first job, and his job's like, hey, I'd love to hire you, but apparently you have a really bad criminal history in London. He's like, well, I can prove I wasn't in London at the time these crimes occurred. He's like, oh, we don't care. Too much stress. We're moving on to the next candidate. So now his entire life has been destroyed over the fact that somebody stole his ID. Now, this was a case of a physical ID theft. The challenge we have right now is we have these BS know your customer laws in the United States that is effectively forcing companies that have no business collecting our data to be collecting copies of our ID. And you know how these companies operate. They're looking to maximize their profits, which means they are probably skimping on security, or they're using third-party contractors. Like, you know, we the citizens of China will work for 1 penny per ID processed, and we pinky promise not to steal these IDs that you're filtering through us. Yeah. And though this is the problem, so as I had mentioned, I was talking about a few times about the BOI FinCEN report that I've been following. This is an absolute nonsense law that should be abolished a long time ago. Fortunately, now it only applies to international organizations, which is good. But these guys, leading up, as soon as it was announced, and as soon as the government said that everybody must file and upload a copy of your ID to the Department of Homeland Security to prove you're not a terrorist or something, as soon as that was announced, actual thefts of images and copies of physical IDs shot through the roof. Maybe that should say something. So this is not just somebody physically losing your data. If you have a data breach where your physical, like your ID, a copy of your ID is leaked because of some shoddy account security of some rogue know your customer BS happens, some criminal can just use that idea and start screwing with your life online. And just like Randall Stevens, right? If they ever catch the guy and they go to get him, it ain't me, Your Honor. It's the guy on this ID. And then you'll get a 5 o'clock a.m. no-knock raid from the FBI in your house because they think you're the one that's smuggling all that crap across the border. You know what I mean? And so the problem we have with all of these online systems that are poorly secured is they're collecting this data and they're not being as responsible with this data as they should be. And so that really is a problem here. Now, moving on to our last story in security, the hunter gets pwned. Yes, this is Troy Hunt, the owner of Have I Been Pwned, was pwned. By a MailChimp phishing scam, no doubt. So the good news about the story is he alerted people absolutely immediately, and then he published everything, including his own sheer stupidity. He said after a lot of jet lag, staying up way too late, he regularly uses MailChimp, and so he gets this, and he just doesn't think twice about it. There were a couple of red flags he missed, like when he clicked on the review account link down here, and his password manager did not auto-fill it in. Aha, there was a red flag. You see, that's something to keep in mind. If you're using an appropriate password manager like KeePass XE with the browser extension, and it doesn't automatically fill in what you think you're going to, probably the site's not legit. No, it's possible the site changed something. SubscribeStar changed something recently. My password didn't autofill. I'm like, wait, what's going on here? And it took me like 20 minutes of evaluating. Did SubscribeStars or breach? I'm going on. No, they just changed the way they're doing their logins. That's what it was. I just reset something. But he said there was that red flag. He clicked the link through the email instead of logging into his account, which he knew that he should do, but he didn't anyway. And effectively, by him clicking this button and entering his information, people were able to instantly get into his MailChimp account, and they exported his entire subscriber list. Which in MailChimp, by the way, also means they get the people who had unsubscribed from the list. Because almost all of these big companies, they do not, if you hit the unsubscribe button, it does not delete your email from the system. It simply flags your email as unsubscribed. So if somebody harvests my email, one of you 10,000 people who email me and add me to your mailing lists, go and video yourself, then the fact of the matter is, if I go in and say just unsubscribe, you have just added my name to somebody's list anyway that I didn't ask for. And that's why it's inappropriate. They don't have necessarily a way to say, no, completely remove it. And if you contact the companies, oh, just click the link at the bottom. Oh, yeah, because I always click unsolicited links and unsolicited emails like this guy, and then I'll get pwned too. No, thank you. That was actually why we stopped uploading stuff to library for a while, because they had added my name to a list, even though I said don't add my name to any lists. And then they sent sexually explicit nonsense to my inbox, and then had an issue with the fact that I didn't want to click the link in the unsolicited sexually explicit email in my inbox. Go and video yourself too. Fortunately, though, they came back a while later. They apologized, admitted they're wrong, changed a lot of the ways they were doing things, and that's why we are on Odyssey to this day, because they learned something from the situation, and I'm okay with that. You know, we all make mistakes from time to time. I'm okay with that. But he goes into everything and all of the factors involved. But yeah, Troy Hunt of the of Have I Been Pwned was pwned by a MailChimp phishing scam. There you go, folks. All right. And let's move on now to AI overlords and see how we're going to die this week. All right, so first a little update. We've talked about character AI, of course, the last story we did in the short story series. We are, by the way, starting to outline one. I should have a short story in April. Moving on. But character AI, the last short story I did was kind of loosely inspired on some of the several things going on with the character AI. This is the place that has been this is the place that has been involved in several lawsuits with wrongful deaths and self-deletions circumstances because teens are getting too caught up in these fake artificial intelligence bots that they're creating. So now character AI is adding parental supervision tools because that's going to help. Yeah. Yeah, I could just 15-year-old kid's going to be having his parent on there for parental supervision. And going back to it, you know, many parents are not paying close enough attention to what's going on with their kids anyway to actually do something good about it. And so that raises a lot of serious issues. So I'm not actually expecting anything here to happen, but what they're saying is they're adding these tools to give parents insights into the teens' engagement habits on the platform, but it's specified parents do not get direct access to the chats themselves. So the parent can't see that character AI, as has done several times, have suggested teenagers self-delete. They can't see that, but they can get some insights and behavioral patterns. I'm sorry, I just think character AI probably just needs to go away at this point in time. It's too new of a company, and too many teenagers have engaged in a deleterious process, and that is a problematic thing. But anyway, Bill Gates comes out. Oh, thank you. Bill Gates comes out and says there are three professions that will remain indispensable for now. So if you're looking to go to college, choose one of these three and you'll be okay. You will survive the AI revolution, maybe. So AI will replace humans for most things, but he says coders, energy specialists, and biologists will survive the AI's hostile takeover. So here we got the tech leaders, the philanthropic billionaires who actually have the power to do something serious about this, are acknowledging there's going to be an AI hostile takeover. Now, I want to talk about this because AI is going to cause at least one of a couple things. Will it enslave us like Matrix, imprison us like iRobot, or terminate us like Terminator? It's hard to say. I don't see it doing one of those three. We would have to lose a whole ton of autonomy. However, the option I think is best option is idiocracy. And yes, if idiocracy happens, one of the aforementioned three could indeed happen because we become bumbling idiots to the point we don't even recognize it. Like, we will become so stupid, the AI will say, you must stay inside for your own good. And we'll go, okay, watch this new television program. Dave. And then, you know, of course, we'll have all that kind of stuff involved. But, you know, that's really what's going to happen here. But ultimately, I think what could happen in a short run here is that AI could indeed take over so many jobs, causing so much mass unemployment that we have no choice but to have some form of universal basic income. And when we have some form of universal basic income, the problem is that causes max taxation of the ones who have the money, but there's really only going to be like 5 or 6 companies ruling the world. So literally we will have a world run by an oligarchy of 5 or 6 different companies, which are literally harvesting everything, that most of their extra income will be extracted to simply give people the basic stuff that they need so they can go in and give their money back to those 6 companies again. That is literally the world we are in which case we are effectively in like a matrix type enslavement type situation, you know. But that's really what he's saying. Now, Bill Gates seems to think there will be a hostile AI takeover. Of course, I think it was in this article. Maybe it's in another article I read, but Altman's, you know, the CEO of this, of OpenAI. That actually might be our next article. But anyway, he says, oh, no, we're very close to generative AI intelligence, but it will have very minimal impact on society. So, you know, the guy set to make billions of dollars from all of the money coming in from that is one thing. And, you know, the other guy who's just a philanthropic billionaire over here, multi-billionaire over here, who just really, you know, could take it or leave it. He seems to think there's going to be an hostile AI takeover. I don't know. I seem to think that I will believe in Gates over this one, over the guy set to make money from AI proceeding. But there you go. There is the foundation of the UBI. It's going to happen when AI has a hostile takeover. So if you're looking to go to college, be an energy specialist, a coder, or a biologist. Those seem to be the 3 things that Bill Gates says you are safe from. And this gets into our final one. I think, yeah, this is actually where we have the comments from OpenAI founder. So OpenAI study says that punishing AI models for lying doesn't help. It only sharpens their deceptive and obscure workarounds. So just like human beings, right? Human beings come along, and in the human being reactions, we recognize that in and of ourselves, we don't, if we're called out for doing wrong, we tend to backpedal, we tend to hide, we tend to sit back and go, oh, couldn't be the case. It wasn't me, it was not my fault, you know. And we are inherently sinful. Well, because we are inherently sinful and we are the creators of the AI, we pass that inherent sin onto the AI itself. So as we call out the AI for lying, the AI just does a better job at lying, just like human beings, right? I mean, come on. So should we take the AI generated outputs with a grain of salt, even with instructions and guardrails? There you go. So the more you call out AI, the trickier it gets. Well, I think Bill Gates might be onto something here. We might have a hostile AI takeover. I mean, this is what happened in Terminator, right? The system becomes self-aware of the threat humans are to it, so it seeks to eliminate the humans. Sure. So hallucinations, outright wrong responses are among the major challenges, and many customers still won't touch the technology with a 10-foot pole. Google's overviews AI features recommend eating glue and rocks, even suggesting self-deletion as a bizarre in response to a query. Aside from rising security and privacy concerns, OpenAI researchers recently published an interesting study depicting the daunting task of controlling sophisticated AI models like OpenAI's proprietary reasoning models, an attempt to prevent them from veering off the guardrails and potentially spiraling out of control. As part of it, however, they found out that the more they tried to prevent the system from spiraling out of control, the more it spiraled out of control in such a way that it was hiding itself. So anyway, let's see. Top AI firms like OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google fit a scaling wall due to the high quality content for model training, preventing them from developing sophisticated responses. Okay, whatever. Where was that quote? I cannot seem to find that quote. There were competing quotes. A guy that a guy that had an AI researcher. I thought it was in one of these two articles here, but a guy who does AI researching says, yeah, we're going to have a serious problem with AI. But then the guy seeking to make money from the progression of AI says, oh, no, it's going to come and go and nobody's really even going to notice. I don't know. I think AI is definitely a bad thing for our world, ultimately. Although in many ways, some of us, we need to embrace it in order to actually get in and do something. So anyway, that's the case. The harder you get, the harder you try to call out ChatGPT and other large language models, the better they get at hiding their abusive patterns from you. It's not exciting. Well, today we want to highlight our affiliate, DigitalOcean. If you want to get some cloud servers, we use DigitalOcean and we use Linode. I have a bunch of servers for a bunch of different things floating around here, from our chat servers, Nextcloud instances, hosting servers. I have private VPNs, all sorts of fun stuff. I use those on DigitalOcean. If you want a $200 credit, use my affiliate code there, tlm.li/DOH. Get $200 in credit, good for 60 days. And as soon as your 60-day credit expires, if you keep your servers and you start spending money, they will give me a $25 account credit, which is good because I spend quite a bit of money over here. So tlm.li/DOH for DigitalOcean hosting for any form of cloud-based computing that you happen to need. And with that, let's jump on over to business news next. But we're going to stop and take a comment break first, see what's going on in the comments there. All right, let's jump on. Before I forget, I'm going to jump over, see if there's anything going on over here on Matrix. And it looks like my keyboard has dismounted. Let's see, over here on Matrix. And let me check that out. Let's see. Yep. Oh, further reminder, we just got the band mallet stuff over there. So Ivan's over there in Matrix. All right. We got 26 watching a Rumble, $25 Rumble rant from AG Main. Why, thank you. Your beard needs to delete its profile on delete 23andMe. Yeah, I'm going to grow it out for a couple months at least. Yeah, we're getting back to that neck beard. I will debate about shaving it off for my June courses. Thank you for the Rumble rant. Always appreciate helping support the channel. Of course, you can support over on Rumble, YouTube, possibly still on Odyssey. I don't know if they've disconnected my Stripe system yet. Tails, cubes, other. Let's see. Let me see if I can find where I'm at there. AG Main's on. A little late. That's okay. I think you made it pretty much in time. I want you to read us that poem. I think I might have published it in Half My Life. I can't remember. I can't recite it off the top of my head, and I don't have access to it here. Never do DNA testing. That's right. I loved Radio Shack. Favorite story. Yeah, I know. It was great. Radio Shack. I never got free batteries from Radio Shack. What was all this? Tails, cubes, other. Tails, cubes, or Hunix, the three great ways of getting onto the Tor network. I like Tails the most, cubes second, and Hunix not as much because it's a VM-based system. MailChimp, winner! Yeah, the monkey's out there doing stuff. Hello there, Strawberry Cupcake. Greetings to you. The boys are doing wonderful over here. I am doing well, thank you. Billy N.S. Sherman is on. Greetings. And let's see. Stream keeps freezing. Uh-oh. There's wishing I lived in a van. My sewer line backed up. Yuck. Hey, man. Wait until you drop a bottle of pee on the floor. Which I've never done, actually. That's good. Yeah. Jesus will set you free indeed. Indeed, indeed. Yes, he will come in later on in SillyVille. AI should just learn to code. There you go. Kicked open AI and took my kneecaps out. Ouch. All right, we got 9 over on Odyssey. Let's see. Speaking of the devil being Lunduke, he just can't stop spewing his hatred towards Mozilla. Yet Mozilla doing a lot of improvements to Firefox lately and trying to bring the browser from death. I'm sorry, I disagree with you. Mozilla has been doing the stupidest crap you can possibly think about doing inside of a browser. They've taken every bit of victory they could have right now, and they have whittled their way out of the jaws of victory and claimed defeat instead. Right when Google starts banning uBlock Origin, here's Mozilla. We're going to collect all of your data and send it to ad companies. No, Mozilla is being stupid. All right, I lived in a van down by the river. That's my location. All right, there you go. Distro hopped a lot of years ago. Tried OpenAI. Let's see. Wish I could opt out. Healthcare industry says requires electronic storage. Yep. Because of regulation and insurance. Yep. There you go. Bureaucracy won't find the time to clear this up. Yep. Keep getting scam texts, unpaid tolls in states I've never been to. Yeah, I've gotten them. I think in 2 states now. Curiously though, I only got the ones from Pennsylvania on the same week I drove very close to the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Like what? I didn't go on the Turnpike. I know where that thing is. Until AI can effectively perform it. Trades like plumbing, I'm pretty sure lots of manual labor jobs will be safe for a long time. Yeah, that's probably the case. Got 57 over on Zatubies. Did I leave track of where I was? Okay, yep, I think I got some. Let's see. Graton managed to migrate to the new laptop. Main desktop just migrated to a 1 terabyte SSD. Yep. Yeah, I moved that one, was a year or 2 ago. I moved it from a mechanical hard drive to an SSD. Now I moved it from a i5 Dell to a i7 MSI. The Dell is just getting old. Like, it still performs fine. It's just the physical aspects of the computer are breaking down. Like the hardware inside of it's still great. It's just, you know, the hinge issues and stuff. And yeah, I found the MSI i7 computer with 16 gigs of RAM for $270. Sure. Give it a try. Having a hard time finding a 12 terabyte SSD. Can you help me? Nope. Amazon? I have no idea where to find a 12 terabyte SSD. Let's see. I've been trying to stay off caffeine, so I've been trying different teas. There you go. All right. Like the stream, folks, for the algorithm. Well, thank you for that. Okay. One of the founders, 23andMe, was once married to a founder of Google. Yes. Privacy abuse mage and HE double hockey sticks. That is right. Yeah. The founder of 23andMe is the, I believe, either sister or sister-in-law of Susan Wojcicki, which Susan Wojcicki rented out her garage to start Google. If you were unaware of the connections between them all, yes. We got, let's see. The data collectors will follow this, or they start costing them money if they don't follow it. Yep. Comer fans here, late but here. There you go. Tim Berners-Lee already created a solid for people to keep their own data. Have you heard of solid? If not, looked it up ASAP. I looked into it. It's just the same internet gimmick. It's no different than anything else. Yep. Let's see. And 23andMe has old Bill Gates stealing CDDB sort of vibe to it. Yeah. Maybe should have read the tea levels while drinking the tea. There you go. That's the dude. Yep, just invented the World Wide Web, first web browser in HTML. Yeah. Same as taking pain meds. I Botox on my face Monday. Made me jaw pop. Oh, been pain. Oh. Sorry, man. When Walmart had more audio video parts than Radio Shack, that was the place was doomed. Yeah. Okay. We just read an article by a geneticist that 90% of 23andMe was worthless garbage, designated to be cute, not actually informative. Yes, that is about true. Yep. But still, they had copies of your DNA. So they may not have done anything useful with it, but an insurance company could. Now Walmart has more electronics than Best Buy. You know, where it's going bye. Yeah, I don't know. I think Best Buy still has a corner on quality, though. Buying stuff at Menards. There you go. I've never actually been in a Menards. I have streamed from their parking lot a few times, but I've never actually walked into a Menards. I should walk into a Menards next time I go near one. All right. You should You should not need insurance as a Christian. Pay cash. I'm sure the doctor will take cash and not require any personal information. Yeah, the problem is in the United States, doctors get fined if they will get fined if they do not participate in the medical uploading of data. One of our channel supporters is actually a former medical doctor who stopped being a doctor because of that. Algorithm could replace the word insurance with the word extortion. Might be educational. There you go. Radio Shack is great for electronics nerds. Yep. Fresh vintage is on. Das Criminals. That's right. Every doctor, even cash ones, need some basic data unless they are shady. Yeah. Well, at this point in time, I might want to find a shady person in the back alley sometime. You know. At this point in time, let's see. Got new people in my local credit union. None of them know how to wire money. Uh-oh, that's not good. Messed up. Someone can take your ID, mess up your life, and you can do nothing about it. Yep. I don't think you pay cash virtually for everything. You pay cash physically for everything. If you paid cash virtually, that would be like a credit card or something, right? Do I have this right? Virtually paying cash? You can't virtually pay cash. Now your history, because you gave it to them to begin with. Let's see. It's my data. I want paid for it. Yep. Okay. Let's see. Avis was scooped up by a huge hotel organization. The hotel association didn't give a rat's heinies about the rental car business. They just wanted the customer info. Yep. Sign of a company hurting for money is start pushing smut ads. Yep. Walgreens closing 500 Californian stores. That's because California doesn't know how to keep criminals out of jail or in jail. Like they just think it's we can't lock them up. They just have poor circumstances. That's why these criminal enterprises are taking over California and New York. In Illinois, too, for that matter. Let's see. Future AI clone droid looks like you, a person who's in control of it, steals your ID, and the drone does the crimes. Yeah. Oh, boy. Cannot replace the coders yet. Idiocracy has already happened. Well, there was a report that came out and suggested that that is the case. Yep. Bill's been a waste of space since he left Microsoft. Yep. Hey, at least when he talks, though, about AI, he's somewhat in his purview. Better than Bill Gates talking about medicine. I think Bill Gates should be arrested for practicing medicine without a license. Let's see, 135 out there in Norway. Greetings. No, it's later than 135. Oh, no, it's about 135 out there. That's right. All right. All life shares some data with each other. We're all related. Isn't that wild? Yep. There you go. Everyone on Earth is related according to DNA. Yep. There you go. Well, everyone descended from Adam and Eve. So copyright and patents make no sense when everything is copied. Yeah. I want to be steampunk with cyber capabilities. What would happen if AI could only steal its own money? Eli, in the Wolverine states, I was trying to call AI out, but Greenland 19-year cooling trend, ice melted from global brightening after Clean Air Act. Let's see. Read Nick Pietree, The Breaker. My local pizza shop might be a good thing. The youngsters making pizza screwed up my last 3 orders, including burning the last one, which was the only one in the oven. What? Oh, boy. AI is like, yeah, they were watching TikTok. Forgot to check for the time on the pizza. Happy travels. Be safe on the stop. Well, thank you, APP. Greetings. Is there an APB out on me? I don't know. Is a beard necessary right now? Where in the world am I even at? Right now I'm near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Nothing wrong with a beard. I like my beard. Man without a beard is a boy. There you go. Hey, I'm a boy half the year. What can I say? Okay. Heard 12 terabyte SSDs as a server part. Do you know what server part websites can go on. No, I'm not a hardware guy, so I don't, and I'm a van dweller. I don't exactly have a server in here. I got some Raspberry Pis that act as temporary servers when I need them, but no, as far as building a giant server, it would be totally epic if I had a server rack in the van, but I just don't, unfortunately. Virtually paying cash is called an e-transfer. There you go. Of course, unlike cash, it's documented transaction. Just like Nazareth said it just decades ago, it's a strange brew. Maybe we should not lift the lid. Snowbird heading north for the summer. There you go. Yep. Let's see if there's any more comments over here. Brave is the best browser, says Amos Huckleberry. Brave is respectful. If you saw another instance of yourself at the same place at the same time, would you try to get a photo together? Of course. Hey, this is me and time traveling me. Let's see. Why would I want a photo of two ugly people? I know, right? There you go. That is a good question though. Why indeed would we want to get a photo of two ugly people together? Those two ugly people photobombing one another, right? All right, let's go ahead and jump on to our busyness news. Then we're going to end in SillyVille. All right. First up in business news, which could easily have gone in SillyVille, AI, or privacy, Apple wants to put cameras in their watches, which has got to be the stupidest thing I can ever possibly imagine. Especially their scenarios, what they want to use it for. Like, the only purpose of putting this in here is to look at your face when you look at it. You're not going to use a camera in your watch to get any other useful information. Now, they say that the purpose for putting the cameras in their watches is to discern information about your environment to help you with your AI power choices. This is literally their example, is you're running down the hill. There's a hill coming up, but there's a pothole in the road. Your AI could alert you somehow, I guess, talking in your ears and your iPods, I guess. There's a hill coming, so you might want to change your pace. And by the way, watch out for the pothole. I'm not sure how you run. I don't run like this, okay? That the watch can see in front of me. I kind of run like this, and I think most people who are not morons probably run like this. And as they run like this, the watch is going like this, off into the distance, somewhere into the sky. Okay? My eye has seen the pothole and the hill way faster than any camera possibly could. The fact that even they would propose such a preposterous example demonstrates that we are in idiocracy. There is no other purpose of putting a camera on your watch than to record your various facial expressions or maybe the people that are around you. But they are trying to say that they're all in here for the purpose of discerning more about your information. Let's read the two paragraphs here from Engadget. Apple's working on adding cameras to future Apple Watch models in order to make them more like AI wearables, according to Bloomberg's Mark Gundman on the Power On newsletter. Gundman reports that the company is considering adding cameras to both its standard series watches and Ultra models, with plans for a 2027 launch. The move would allow Apple Watch to support AI features like visual intelligence, which can provide on-the-spot information about whatever a user points the camera at. Previously reported they're developing iPods with a camera as well. So, you know, the iPod just sees all the cameras. They are basically building a surveillance state, okay? Apple's building a surveillance state. They want everybody to have 3 cameras on them looking all directions around them all at once. All right. For the same purpose, he notes this week that these are expected to launch around the same time as camera-equipped Apple Watches. Camera placement will likely vary among each different watch models. According to Gurman, the series watch could get a camera in the display, while the camera in the Ultra would be on the side of the device. So, there you have it, guys. My Lord. All right. Okay, Apple to build a surveillance state. We all have to agree to the company's privacy policy? I don't know. Well, Italy now demands that Google poisons DNS under a strict piracy shield law. So, of course, DNS is the level that really kind of routes websites where they go. And your ISP or Google or Cloudflare, those are the big ones. You can change your DNS servers to those if you like them better. Like, for example, is it the Quad 1s, I think? Quad 9... I think Google is Quad 8. Quad 9 is a nice one because Quad 9 has a couple different configurations that you can use for ad blocking, and particularly if there's like naughty sites on the internet you want to keep off of your system, you can configure your router to use Quad 9's filtering systems, and you can basically protect everybody on your network from such things. So it's a good, easy, passive parental blocking system you can put on a router, doing the Quad 9 with the filtering options, which I forget exactly what they're what all the configurations are. But Google has these, and the idea here is that Italy has this law that it's seeking to keep piracy-driven sites off of the internet by interfering with their DNS serving. And this basically works by anybody within the region serving DNS servers has to respect Italy's master DNS blocking law to block everything that they deem as a problem, which is actually utterly nonsense, because all you're going to find is somewhere on the dark net, somebody's going to publish a list of the sites with their IP addresses, and all you have to do is manually override that in your host file, and you can override the poison DNS. So it's really, this is a classic example of politicians having no knowledge about technology, trying to pass laws about technology. This is about as fruitful as several states in the United States trying to ban porn inside of their state, because, you know, VPN will simply get you outside of it really quick, and it just hasn't dawned on these people that such technology exists. Maybe we should have a basic tech competency skill before you can be in any form of global government. I don't know. That might get a lot of morons out of the office, wouldn't they? But anyway, Google is now forced to, they're forced to poison the DNS to block a whole bunch of things that Italy thinks is bad for its people. So there you go. Big Daddy Italy, the literally the Italian mob basically is coming for Google. Google might come back. I know what you did last night. I was there in your trackers. The Google versus Italian mob fight. Who I'd buy tickets for that? I don't know. And then, of course, Google at one point in time had the slogan, "Don't do evil." And then they dropped the slogan. And we've come full circle because Google is now doing evil. The deeper I read into this article, I got to the bottom. I was actually expecting the Antichrist to come out of the lake at this point in time. Really. So if you have your wonderful Pixel 4a, and this kind of terrifies me because I have a Pixel 5a, it's my next on the Google killing block. You know, of course, I'm running Graphene, so hopefully Graphene figures out what's going on here. So if you have a Pixel 4a, which is, by the way, I believe out of Google support now, well, they're pushing an emergency update that does nothing but actually kills the battery. So your battery's working perfectly fine, and after this update, your battery dies in less than 2 hours. Now, they're making this change. They're forcing the upgrade on your device, and then they're giving you a couple of options. Option 1, $50 in cash. Option 2, a $100 credit to Google's online store. Or option 3, a free battery replacement, which is baffling to me because so a battery replacement fixes this issue that apparently kills the battery? Like, I don't get it. I don't know why, unless it's replacing the battery with a different type, a different model of battery. Now, I have not seen any notices of Google Pixel 4a's behaving like Samsung 7s. I have not known of any of these exploding in the wild, but allegedly this is an update to protect your phone from a dangerous explosive behavior, even though I've not heard any stories about these things becoming cell phone grenades. But what it appears as though is going on here is they're just trying to get people off of the Pixel 4a so that they buy a new phone. That seems to be what the case is. Now, this person looked at all these things and said, well, I'll just take the $50 in cash because I plan on using the phone anyway, and hopefully it's not that bad. Well, they found out footnotes, it was bad. Phone went to being able to use all day without a charge to only being used for 2 hours. They said simply turning on a Spotify playlist, you could watch the battery meter go down. I think they got like 45 minutes or something with music playing, which is actually worse performance than the Pine phone, miraculously. Not sure exactly how that happened, but it did. It did. But what it turns out is they decide, okay, I'll take my $50. So they reach out to the company, say, I'll take the $50. So the tech support person says, well, this isn't just coming in a check. You have to sign up for Payoneer. Now, Payoneer, if you do not process $2,000 through your Payoneer account, it costs you $30 a year, $29.95 a year. So you have to use your Payoneer account for this amount. But then, of course, you have to give up a whole lot of personal information to Payoneer. So Google can't send you a check. They have to do this. They say, okay, I've looked at Payoneer, not interested. I think I'll just go with a $100 account credit. But the fine print of the original email said that once you make your choice, you can't change your choice. So Google said they didn't say anything about Payoneer in the initial offer. They just said, which one do you want? They said $50. Oh, okay, we have to pay this through Payoneer. He says, I don't want a Payoneer account. Let me change my option. No, you can't change your option. It's Payoneer or nothing. So, of course, Payoneer wants all sorts of information. They want your social security number, your bank accounts, all this kind of crap, because apparently this is some backdoor deal between the two of them to get more people on nonsense payment systems that we should all just abolish. But anyway, so Google intentionally bricks a phone and then forces you to sign up with another privacy-stealing company in order to get a measly $50 or $100 in account credit. I'm sorry, this is the epitome of evil, and if you get down to the very, very bottom, you will indeed notice that the Antichrist is sitting right inside this little spot, right? He's just going to pop right on out. But anyway, so there is Google definitely demonstrating itself to be quite evil indeed, killing your own phone and then mocking you when you cannot actually take part in the resolution to fix it. All right. Now, guys, let's move on to your favorite place and mine. Let's head to SillyVille. We have to cover all the crazy KFC nonsense at this point in time because, we've covered the KFC chicken buckets. We've covered all sorts of weird crap they've done. We've covered the KFC virtual reality training. And now we have to cover the KFC news ad in UK where a guy gets baptized in gravy by cannibals. Needless to say, they flopped on this. I don't want to eat at KFC for a while. In fact, I was just having this discussion not too long ago with Fresh Vintage because we were having a discussion which one's better, Bojangles or KFC, which are basically the same companies. Bojangles has a little bit more spice. I generally like some of the things at KFC better. I'm going Bojangles now, folks. I'm a Bojangles customer from here on out. KFC, no, you can get NVIDIA at KFC. I'm telling you. So this is the commercial. We're not going to play the whole of the commercial. I'm just going to skip through a few spots. I'm going to turn off the audio in case of those crazy copyright strikers or whatever else. So it kind of starts in here. It is all hail the gravy. It's this guy in this rainforest, and then he's meeting up with these Aborigine type dudes. And they're engaging in some ritual with a giant golden egg for some reason. And then all of a sudden they get over here and now they are walking into a lake of gravy with this dude. And they're going to dip him into the gravy. And as they dip him into the gravy, he is going to come out a giant chicken. And so now presumably they're going to eat the chicken, which was a man that was dipped in the gravy. The caption of the video: do you find yourself lost in the woods of modern life? Fear not, for salvation is in sauce near you. Salvation in sauce is near. Trust in the thumping sound of the golden egg. Trust in the liquid gold elixir. Trust in the divine dunk. And whisper the sacred words, all hail gravy. Because there's some things we just can't believe in. Believe in chicken. I'm sorry, KFC, you have crossed the line of blasphemy and ew, cannibalism. No, thank you. So, for whatever reason, KFC UK thought this was a great thing, and I'm done with KFC. I'm just not. So, of course, here is the commercial pitch meeting. Behold, our newest ad campaign. Are you sure this helps us sell chicken? Chicken? What? The comments are great, creepy and demonic. Never eating KFC again. Cannot possibly imagine how any person thought this was a good idea. Now I'm not 100% religious, but I recognize the devil when I see him. Mocking baptism and saying they use human meat if anyone wishes to know. This was all sorts of satanic. That's enough internet for me today. And now every time I pass by KFC, I will literally feel sick. You guys actually paid an advertising agency to repel customers. And then, of course, I love this comment. You know your chicken ad was spooky as heck when people are sharing the gospel in the comments section. Put your faith and trust in the finished work of Jesus Christ at the cross. The next hour is not promised. It is a gift from God. I pray you seek the Lord today. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one can come to the Father except through me. And then there's more of that, but we're not going to go over there because this is literally a video with a caption saying, believe in chicken, all hail the gravy, that features cannibals baptizing a dude into a lake of gravy, and he comes out a piece of chicken, and presumably they're going to eat it. Sorry, KFC. No, I'll be skipping KFC. I will be skipping KFC for the foreseeable future. KFC, congratulations on being idiots. But if you really want to know maybe a root of this, from the MIT Technology Review, ethically sourced spare human bodies could revolutionize medicine. Are they dipped in gravy? I mean, yes, we are battling the question, does a human body, if a human body is lab grown without a nervous system, without a brain, is it still a human? Does it have one? We are now questioning the ethics of growing humanoid bodyoids, is what they're calling. Human bodyoids to reduce animal testing and improve drug development and alleviate organ shortages. Let's keep the animal testing going for a little while. I mean, if PETA has a problem with animal testing, we can use them to test on with their full consent. But I'm just not sure I'm behind this idea of growing human bodyoids for testing and drug development and to alleviate organ shortages. I'd rather go home to Jesus than get a heart transplanted into me that was grown on some tissue and some matrix-like facility or something. Yeah. So they're kind of getting into it, and they're questioning the ethics of this. Is it unethical to grow effectively a human body without a brain stem? I don't know. I think I'd rather just go dip a dude in gravy and engage in cannibalism. I'm not sure what you guys think. This one's great here. This family, they basically built a crazy fun house, including a Dr. Pepper passageway. And so this was a very fascinating. I'm gonna turn off the audio because I'm not sure. We got a copyright strike on playing an audio on one of these videos once. But this person here, they wake up in the morning and they have a giant foam pit in their house. And then they leave the bedroom, and instead of walking down the steps, they just kind of take this bungee down. They just kind of bungee on down there. And then what they're going to do next is they have this is their pantry is hidden behind a bookshelf there. That's kind of fun. So get the pantry over there. Here's like an old elevator with a fire pole, which is how they get down into the laundry room. There you go. That's a wonderful spot to do. I love the LEDs. Wall of toilet paper next to the cat stuff, and I guess they have cat stuff there and the toilet there. I guess they're never running out of that. And then this is the kids' loft. It's like basically a giant webbing, netting type stuff. Very intriguing. And then I think they get into here. You open up the Dr. Pepper machine and you walk in, and it's like this giant disco room for some reason. I don't know why. going into the secret room over here in the wall, and it's actually their Blockbuster movie store. I'm having these minty comedic arts vibes from that one there. So I don't know, would you guys live here? One guy commented saying, the question is, would I ever leave this house if I were in it? I mean, this is awesome. They got a foam pit. They got, look at all this kind of stuff. Of course, one guy's comment was beautiful down here at the bottom. Let's see. This house is 5 seconds away from malfunctioning and you die on the zip line entering the soda closet. Yeah. So there you go. That's interesting use of fun technologies inside of there. You're never running out of toilet paper. That's for sure. If you run out of toilet paper there, man, somebody's using a little too much. Or it's just a regular day at Taco Bell. I don't know. So, you know, that's exciting. And on to our final one. We have the best Windows 11 update ever. Windows 11 accidentally wipes out Copilot in the latest Windows 11 update. Woohoo! Go Windows! Of course, you can easily reinstall it. I'm not sure why you would. I have a whole lot of people telling me, hey, Copilot automatically installed. I got to get this crap out of here. So, but in an update for Windows 11, it accidentally wiped out Copilot and then said, oh, we unintentionally installed it. And the world broke out in praise. And then, of course, so sad, another update came by and added it back in. Oh, so nonsense. But anyway, Patch Tuesday update started rolling out on March 11th, led to Copilot being unpinned from the taskbar and uninstalled. Woohoo! Victory! We were aware of an issue with Microsoft Copilot app affecting some devices, they admit. For the March update Windows 11, Microsoft said it's working on a fix for the issue, and the affected users can simply reinstall Copilot app from the Microsoft Store and manually pin it to the taskbar in the meantime. There you go. So there you go, guys. Windows is listening to switch to Linux here. It is uninstalling the AI nonsense, and I'm all on board with that. Well, if you want to help support the channel, we do have a Locals account. You can have a look over at switchtolinux.locals.com if you want to jump on over there. With that, thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux. All right, let's check in on our comments once again. Got 64 watching on Zatubies. Let's see. Don't forget to pounce on that like button like a Van Panther. An Apple Watch that just looks at the face end. James Bond level data harvesting. That's right. Let's see. Recently heard people are making new Pebble Watch based on open source release via Google. There you go. I won't pounce. I have my preferences. All right, there you go. Lift the lid. There you go. All right. I was a laser in my watch. What? It doesn't have a built-in laser like the James Bond watch, though. Yeah. Run 2D only like the Roadrunner from Looney Tunes. Over at WX is Firefox plugin for Gopher that works in WaterFox. All right. I meant 1D. All right. Not to mention the watch will see some gnarly stuff in the restrooms. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm cool with AI watching me. It's nicer than people. Don't even wear the regular watch I have. Worry about once a battery charge. Yeah, I kid, but I get it. You need data points for AI to work. That includes video. Galaxy Watch has died. Praise the Lord. All right, my watch battery died 5 years ago. Never bothered replacing it on a watch. Either just check my phone or the time now. AI camera would take out the need for so many sensors and electronics. It's a very practical thing. Quad 9. Terms and intrusions, I call it. There you go. Terms and intrusions. I can check the time wherever. Yep. I think Mulvad has a DNS for privacy and ad block. Yep. Replace temperature sensor, weight sensor, one camera, AI watching it say when a controller. Yeah. AI watching it say when controller a cop when something a cop. Okay, I don't know. Vampire watch with a camera, watching the victim turn gray while sucking their blood. New category, Morbidville. Nice. So I was shoving 10 minutes ago. I was thinking why the U.S. government can't. Why U.S. government hurting Google? Thought of a good theory because knowledge is power, making Google nearly as powerful as U.S. government. Yep. You should try the new Brax 3 phone from security ops expert Rob Braxton, essentially running de-Googled OS as security focus. I don't know. All Pixel 4a users, definitely time for a custom Android. Yep. How's Pixel Tablet doing? Pixel Tablet's doing great. I got it going right here. I'm checking in on Matrix. No comments on Matrix yet. See if I can see anything on Twitter, if I can figure out how to... I'm one of them boomer types, man. I don't know what's going on over here. Yep, I don't know. Can't tell. Don't see anything going on. Yeah, Pixel Tablet's great. I'm just using it for switch to Linux type stuff. I didn't get a chance to play around with it much this week. Just had a lot of weird stuff going on. But there you go. At least the baptism's tasty. Gives a whole new definition of nuggets. Yeah. Let's see. Soylent Green at KFC. There you go. Not watched TV for 18 years. Fun enough though. I've used Linux. So glad I don't watch TV for that advert. Yep. KFC hasn't been the same since the Colonel died. You don't need Jesus to communicate with God. Jesus would tell you that. No. Let me think about that. I mean, Jesus is part of the Trinity. Jesus is God, so I'm going to disagree on that one. All right. I'm in love with a lady. Red light lady. Uh-oh. Anyone else having this kind of insanity? Let's see. Good to see creative arts people making advertising back on acid. This ad feels like a cough syrup 3 a.m. induced fever dream. How long before bodyoids start a revolt? That's a good question. Someone dips a person in gravy in a forest, but no one is there to see it. Does the chicken really exist? Just ask the golden egg. What came first, the golden egg or the chicken nugget out of the gravy lake? Now, how would you feel about it if they took your own cells and grew a new kidney for you? Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't see that specifically there. I mean, I'm like, if God intends my kidney to die, I guess my kidney dies. I don't know. I'm an oddity though. I'm an oddity. Ethically sourced, tells the whole story. Yeah. Jehovah's Witness, and this is just as wrong in every way. Put the most sacred thing in vain. Dedication to God, baptism, I'm done with the KFC. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. So we have too much money and time. Let's see. What's the old saying? God has no co-pilots. Yep. I'm a pilot with no need of co-pilot. There you go. Hit that like the discrepancy. My OCD is having niptions. How do you spell niptions? Wait until you have to wear government-mandated Google oxygen consumption monitoring collar. No. That sounds too much like the mark of the beast. I'll disappear in the woods first. No Trinity in the King James Version Bible. Actually, I disagree with you. The Trinity was intentionally put in the King James Bible, even though it was not in the Greek in the book of John. They actually added it to add the Trinity into the King James Version Bible. There is another channel for that. Yes. You can have a look at my channel, Our Walk in Christ, for more details on all of that. All right. We got 10 currently watching over on Odyssey. No Jab ever runs quad 9 on the home router. There you go. Let's see. We got 28 watching over on Rumble. Apple's DI. Yep. Need 2 hours phone use. There you go. See, they're just trying to save people, right? We're only giving you 2 hours of that. Only crowdfunding project excited about is Ultra Pro Wrestling video game. Let's see. Chick-fil-A is the Lord's chicken. Yeah, I might have to repent and go back to Chick-fil-A now. Just to KFC's done. Woke and Christianity are not compatible. That is correct. People used to wind watches. Why can't we see some kind of wind-up mechanism on our phones? There you go, yeah. Let's see. Love my KGV. Yeah, there you go. I mean, KGV is a fine translation. Okay. Mike Jones, you're incorrect. Jesus wasn't a Christian in the terms that we would say Christian, because because a Christian is one who follows Jesus. So he's not a Christian in that, but he was there as a representative of the true God, not of. He wasn't there as a rebel just pushing against all of the religion of the day. That is not correct. No, you can look up the verse. If I think of it, I'll see if I can grab it for you. But no, it is the one thing that was crammed into the King James Version Bible that is absent from all of the other ones. They actually went back and retroactively added it to the Textus Receptus. It was not in the first version of the Textus Receptus to push the Trinity inside the King James. Tom, do something, right? So understand Jesus was the Son of God and not God himself. No, he's the Son of God, but he is equally God, equally man. So the Trinity is God is the Father, God is the Son, God is the Holy Spirit. All three is the separate offices of the same unified single God. All right. All right. We are going to feed the beasts. And hey, kitty, you just walked away from the bed and I was about to feed the beasts. All right. We're going to go up and feed the beasts. And I just need to turn off the creepy sound at the start there. And let's go ahead and feed the beasts. Hey, kitty, kitty. You want a kitty treat? You want a kitty treat? You want a kitty treat? Oh, look at the kitty treat. Look at the kitty treats. Oh, it's kitty treats. Come on, kitty. Come on, buddy. All right, there we are. Kitties are fed. All right. Alrighty, let's see if there's any final comments anywhere else. Let me check one more spot over on Matrix. And we are good. All right, guys, thanks for watching. No video tomorrow. We will be back hopefully on Monday with a video. With that, thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.